Thanks, Linda, and thanks to Abdul and Linda for supporting us. All of you have a dog in this game because of the issue of voting by mail. I got another dog in the game because I'm a retiree. I'm a 27-year veteran of the Postal Service. I trained in 4 different jobs. I worked in 3 different states. I served for over 20 years as a steward and officer in 2 different unions, and for the last 20-some years in American Postal Service. I really want to thank all of you for coming out, not just from myself, but from all the brothers and sister postal workers who are really up against it. It's one thing to worry about your retirement disappearing overnight, but it's another thing to go to work every day in a pandemic. In the building that I retired from in downtown Detroit, 4 workers have died, 3 men that I knew very well, and another man. In our second largest building, we've had also several workers die. And so you can imagine that the people who are going to work every day go with great debt and also tremendous anxiety about what they get at work beyond a paycheck and what they could take home. I want to thank you for joining in this fight to protect the post office and around the very important issue of vote by mail. Vote by mail, as the other speakers have pointed out, is really essential to preserving democracy in the face of a pandemic. I love to stand in line at my local public school and vote. I can tell you I was number 159 the last time I voted in my precinct. But I've mailed my ballot in for the August primary, and I signed up to have a mail-in ballot for November, and I totally assume that I'll be doing that. You really need to understand that we're, as postal workers and people who are served by the Postal Service, we're really in the fight of our lives. The Postal Service has over 633,000 living wage jobs. In addition to that, we service 157 million delivery points every day, 5 or 6 days a week. In Chicago alone, they have 1.3 million delivery points just in one city. The point about postal jobs that I want to make is that these are not just like any jobs. These are living wage jobs. We're an open shop, so everyone doesn't belong to a union, but unions and the fight made by unions is what guarantees the kind of wage and benefit package that I had all of those years. 45% of U.S. postal workers are women. 133,000 postal workers, 21% nationwide, are black workers. And in this time of Black Lives Matter, it's really important to talk. When I was a young student, I had older friends who explained to me that for black men, working in the post office was like a rite of passage. In many communities, it was the first and only government job available to black workers. So this meant being able to have a spouse, have kids, buy a house, all the things that a living wage entitles people. The other really important part of our workforce is that 97,000 postal workers today are military veterans. 60% of those veterans qualify for some level of disability. I come from the maintenance craft. I'm a mechanic. And my department has got the only jobs in the entire U.S. government that's mandated for veterans, and specifically disabled veterans. So I can tell you as a steward, I represented many, many, many veterans with all the issues that veterans have in terms of health care, PTSD, etc. So this, all this is just background. As I was preparing to come today, something came over the internet that the new Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, issued a proclamation. I guess he's appointed by Trump, and I guess he's going to act in the same way, kind of like a king. So he just mandated extreme regulations. So first of all, they're supposed to prevent postal workers from completing their regular daily routes. In my neighborhood, when my regular carrier was off for a number of weeks due to COVID, we often got mail every other day. Some neighborhoods only get it every Thursday because there's not enough people to deliver. He's eliminating all overtime. Right now, when the post office is functioning with 60% of its staff due to COVID. So people that I have represented for years are working 72 and 84 hours a week. So you can get your checks and love letters, and our ballots will get there on time. So if you eliminate overtime, don't tell anybody you're going to get your mail. He's cutting all extra trips by our motor vehicle drivers, which means mail, if it's late, is not going to move from a main sorting facility to a station. He's instructing mail carriers to leave mail behind at their station in the morning if delivering it might extend them past an 8-hour day. So you can easily imagine this is going to lead to a lot of delivery delays. So some things like I take 2 medications every day, I get them by mail. Many of you probably get your medicine by mail. People get a lot of important things like that, more life-saving than mine, for sure. So our medications, our ballots, and also our census forms. And I'm a Detroiter, so we're really working hard to get everyone counted so that we'll get the funding we deserve. I joined the Postal Service in December of 1980. In August of '81, Ronald Reagan fired all of the air traffic controllers. A few of you are old enough to remember that, maybe. Some of you weren't born yet. I joined their picket lines because I understood that when Reagan fired these workers, it was not just to destroy their union. It was like a shot across the bow to warn other unions what would happen to them. So my union, American Postal Workers Union, together with the National Association of Letter Carriers, was at that time in negotiation. It was a warning to us, and as testimony, we have never struck again. So now it's 40 years later, and Donald Trump has called the USPS a joke. He not only wants to privatize the Postal Service and to destroy our 4 unions, but he wants to send a message to all unions and all unionized workers that he's out to destroy unions. So I beg you, let us guarantee that the joke is on him. Dr. Warren mentioned that the Postal Service predates the country. It was guaranteed from the jump in the Constitution. What we need to do now, and what their postcards asking you to do, is to demand that the Senate fully fund the Postal Service. The Postal Service is required to prepay health care for people who have not been born yet, to the tune of $75.8 million over 10 years. So add to that burden what it costs now to provide PPE to 633,000 workers in the face of a pandemic. So we're asking you to sign the postcards, and also there's a number available. On the 23rd of July, we're going to have a day. So if you would take the number that's provided and call each of our 2 Michigan senators and ask them, they say they're going to vote for us. We want to be sure that their spine is like steel. We can't just assume that these Democrats are going to take care of us. We have to say to them, you want my vote? You need to fund our Postal Service. You need to guarantee. So we're asking for at least $25 billion that's already been passed by the House to be passed by the Senate. So you can pick up the cards, as I said, and sign them. There's stamps there, some are stamped, you can mail them right here while you're here. Win-win. So, postal workers, we have to swear an oath when we get hired to protect the sanctity of the mail. So we're the guardians of the mail. And as that, we're going to be the guardians of your vote in November. So we have to demand full funding as part of the fight to protect the vote. And to mandate vote by mail is ensured to guarantee our democracy. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for helping us with this.